Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening without a cough. That's a good one, hey? You can see there, starting off with the dollar index on J4X. You can see the dollar still kind of just staying strong. It doesn't really want to lift up or down at this point. It's kind of stuck in the neutral situation, and it's been that way, for days and weeks and months. It finds ways to go up, and just recently we've seen where the index starts to head down again. In other words, the dollar is starting to lose a little value there. Ooh, let's get the chat line going. There we are. And there we are. Good, we can see that. Excellent. Just making sure we have some sound. And there we are. Yeah, there's some sound. Cool. So, that strength just does not diminish. It just does not. It has no interest in diminishing. It is kind of, you can see it over here on, looking at the euro this morning. You see the euro has been inching its way constantly up, and then boom. After, 4 days of gains, it's almost right back down to that point there. The squeeze, I guess you could call it, or the demand for dollars is just unquenching. In other words, the starvation for more dollars out there is out there. That's what it really comes down to. And at the same time, we find that I guess it's yesterday, and an analyst had come on who I follow for, I don't know, 3 or 4 decades now, 30, 40 years. And he said that basically they have Credit Suisse priced. They think it's worth $30 billion. Problem is, it's trading at something like a little under $5 billion. The stock is around $4.70, and so they have a real problem there with dealing with that. We've seen the swap market. The Federal Reserve has been doing swaps with the central bank there, and there's talk of trying to sell off parts of Credit Suisse. Problem is that there's only nibbles, but there's no real solid bidder offers out there. So I guess a combination of all of that. We saw yesterday the Swiss itself moved into a daily sell. We saw some of it moving back down again, that type of thing, and it's a combination of it all. The inflation, the problem with, someone actually used the L word, Lehman. They compared it to Lehman Brothers, which had gone bankrupt at the very beginning of the quantitative easing, and that was a bad thing because now nobody wants to put out any real money for these things. There is talk of TD out of Canada, and two different Canadian banks are talking about looking at them, but they're not exactly striking the iron at the moment. In other words, they haven't chosen to try to buy. And they're talking about also like breaking it up in pieces too. I mean, that's the objective really, is to break up Swiss Bank into a couple different types of companies and spin one of them off. Who knows what kind of swap situation they have going on. But one thing is for sure, and that is that the Federal Reserve has had to come in over the last 30 days with swaps to help out the Swiss National Bank to deal with the problems with Credit Suisse. All right. From there, we drift over to. Let's see. Where do we go from here? We go to. Let's put the euro on. No, that's the wrong button. Where am I at? Is it right here? Oh, there it is. No, let's not make it bigger or smaller. All right, we'll do that. Why not? Make it bigger or smaller. There we go. And let's put the euro up in there. See what's going on with that. There's the dollar euro right there. You see, we have a lot of green that's been going on for 4 days now, right there. You see the green line now is starting to pierce over on Chicago Quant. You can see here we are getting a green and a red, and we are starting to curve on the downside. And we're still in that long weekly sell of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is going the 10th week in a sell. Here it is, Wednesday, happy hump day. It's in the middle of the week, and we're starting to see the euro roll over. It's like, where's that buying? Where's that, hunger? We just don't see enough of it. And it's that starvation of the dollar at this point. How hungry they are to get more dollars into the whole, business, I guess you could say, the economies. All right, from there, we'll go over to the British pound. And there is cable right there. And I think we went into that sell yesterday. You see today we have the red there. And let's put it up on Chicago Quant. Right there. So we closed in a daily sell yesterday, right there. And today, even with it down on the day, we're getting a red and a green. We're starting to get that noise. And you can see right there, let's see if we do this. Format it. And put that in, and you're going to see where the green is plus. We're climbing back up even with it down. And we do see the green line down here on the weekly. Trying to find a way to get back up to the zero line. Let's put that zero line in too. Right there. And that's pretty much, and that's the same game too. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is the 10th week, just like the euro. 10 weeks now in a sell, and we're just, thinking, geez, can they? Oh, let's fix that chart a little bit more too, so you can see the bars. And just, let's see, where's that at? Arrow up. And you can see there, it seems it almost looks like a reverse Head and Shoulders, where it's trying to find ways to put a base in and get going. And there is no doubt the political drama going on in England is becoming a challenge. I think what had happened was they must have gotten, I guess, lazy. In other words, politicians, when given a chance, will do nothing and just spend money. So in other words, they try to do nothing but spend money. And so now it's like in this, there's like a discussion now that maybe Boris Johnson was removed incorrectly, and then they want to challenge this one. I guess they're trying to force an election of some form, use it as a threat. I think it's a drama that's playing itself out, and we will see over the next couple months. And then the currency itself does seem to be showing us strength. We can see it. It wants to go up against the dollar. That feels good. All right. From there, we're going to go over and take a look at the Swiss. Right. Dollar Swiss right there. Back over the par again. You can see we got two reds going on here. We got the green line underneath. It's been trying to break down. When it broke down yesterday, it was a nice little sign that we saw some. It was in the 99.44 area. And now we are over the century mark again with no problem. You see that there, trading way up. And we are back through the buy again right there. Let's put that line. We're just going to throw it here for the time being. There we are. And and I guess that's still the song and dance to the Credit Suisse situation. The fact that there's 2 or 3 major organizations. I heard even Goldman was thinking about it. Goldman Sachs was looking at one department and trying to break that out of it. I guess it comes down to the liability of some of these things. We have seen a lot of. I know the analyst yesterday was saying that over the last 10 years they've had 4 or 5 heads. They've ended up replacing people in charge. So they are definitely a ship that's having a problem. It is rudderless. And that is something. The fact that this thing is lifted up over the 100 mark again. And in this situation, it was at 2, 3. No, that was the 3. 3. That's 6. This is the 9th week in a buy. And look how high up the little green line is, and the histogram, and above the manifold. There is no interest in the selling side of this, really. Doesn't have any look to it. Well, no, it'll be very clear when they finally resolve the Credit Suisse situation and the inflation and these swaps. It sounds, and again, I'll repeat. I haven't repeated this yet, but what it really comes down to is that they do sound like if Credit Suisse wasn't around anymore, there probably wouldn't be any problems. And that's and I'm sure that they're working behind the scenes very much so to try to remove that. Let's see, there's Metho. Hey, Metho. Hey, Robin. Just kind of marching along here. That's all I seem to be doing, just marching along, looking at the basics and the mechanics of it all. And probably the one that really confounds me most out of all these currencies is the lack of liquidity in the Turkish lira. Whatever has happened there over the last few, like the last month or so, has been a real surprise to me. I thought they at least had a grip on their situation, but at this point it looks even more confusing. You can see we have 3 days of green here. You see the green line up. It's trying to lift, and let's put it up on Chicago Quant right there. Let's see, where's it at? I think it's up at the top. There it is, right there. And if it wasn't for these big, giant, crazy days, it'd be very interesting to see how they're. Look at these poor lines. I mean, just see if we can amplify them a little bit to make them a little bit more digestible, I guess you could say. And then try to move this down. No, not that one. There we are. And you see that strength that's there. It's in a buy for a couple of days here. We're hovering around constantly. Now it's, like I said, you can see it's going down below the 16s on a given day and back up again. It just shows you the lack of liquidity at this point. It's become the cockroach hotel. You can get in, but you can't get out. And then we go and take a look at the Euro Turkish Lira. Which was what I would like to refer to as the more stable of the two pairs trades. But of late, it's not looking any more or less than the other, which is a real surprise. Because for months, the Euro Turkish Lira was a really nice tool to trade. Now it's really gotten dicey. And you can see here we got 5 days of green right there, and you can see the green line, so that pressure is on the upside. And you can see it here. Same situation. It's been climbing up for a couple of days here. You got 3 green dots, a red and green the first day, and then nothing today. There's a little weakness to it. And this, where's that weekly line? Put the weekly line in there. So it's been in the sell since there. And there it is right there. You got the Euro Turkish Lira still looking a little wild like it has been like the rest of those for the last couple of days. Metho says Switzerland got a lot of dollars from the Fed last days. Yes, it has. Swapped. I saw The 3.1 we put up on the screen, the 6.4 I think it was on Friday. In billion, they're in billions. They're not big numbers, but they're calming things down with it. That's a good thing. The only thing I've ever said positive about QE is that at least it created a stability. Unfortunately, it gave the politicians opportunity to just spend money like as if it meant nothing, and that's a sad part. That is a sad part. Let's see. Oh, let's see. I'm punching the wrong buttons there. There we go. All right. From there, we drift over to the Canadian. Right there. And as you can see, we're just starting to do. We got the three reds. It's been pressing down right here. And, what do we do? Get rid of that. There we are. And then, let's put. Where's it at? Right there. There's the CAD. And you can see this is the third day down. But it's really going nowhere, and we've gotten a volatility signal developing out of this today with a red and a green. And Metho, yes, you're right about that. They've gotten some dollars to calm the waters. Calm the waters. Now, from there, we take a look at the energy sector. So let's do this too at the same time. We'll go over and take a look at, now in this case here you can see Canadian kind of, I call that flat more than anything else, but it's kind of hanging around. So we go and take a look at oil. There's the spot oil of December. You see it's just up a little bit, maybe up, was that, it says it's up at almost $1. So they're trying to buy it. You can see we're in a sell on the second day, and we got two red dots going on, and then we go over to here. Let's take a look at crude oil. Right there. There you got that long slide of 7 red bars in the hinky-ashky side of this thing, just pressing down, and you can see a little turn trying to occur right there. And this is, they went into the weekly sell last week, no real aggressive action. I don't know how, we got the winter coming on. There's a lot of demand for oil. At the same time, Mr. Biden is flooding the marketplace with reserve oil. So I don't know. It's going to definitely change in many different forms over the next couple of weeks and months. So we'll see. Right now, I would say that we always thought that we were kind of trapped in the 88 to 88 to 115 area. But it seems like we've been able to play down below that area. I used to call it the 9115, but it was always drifting underneath the 90s. But now we've gotten as low as 75 on the back month there, which is now the front month. It got down almost to 75, no more than 4 or 5 weeks ago. Back in the end of September here, we saw it get down to 75 and change. And then it ran back up to 90-something. And here we are, just dancing around. And supposedly Mr. Biden is coming out with a new statement about oil on some level or another. I don't know what he's going to release. He's got a new idea. I don't know. I think it's a combination of you get ice cream if you buy oil. I don't know. Something like that. But, all right. So, and then what we do is we reverse this out. We go and we take a look at the Canadian right there. and then we go over here and we look at the action in the Canadian itself. And there it is there. You can see it's trying to lift up a little bit. So there's no real clear direction out of this. And that's a good thing. I mean, that's, it's supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be sideways. You can see we've been going for about 3.5, 4 weeks on an upwardly drift. And at the same time, crude oil had found a way to, as you can see on the J4X right here, you can see it was pressuring itself on the upside up until just recently. And you can see we let's just go back to it over here. You can see here it did that up until about 9 days ago, and then rolled over. And as this rolled down, we would have assumed automatically that the Canadian would have gone down against the dollar. In other words, it would have gained against the dollar. But instead, it didn't do that really. It kind of kept on drifting up, which is kind of odd. All right, and from there, let's jump over to gold, and we'll see what they're doing to the South African rand today with the gold market. There you go. You can see it has that long, nice, slow slide from the 1735 area down to the, well, today they're even putting some more pressure on that thing into the 1634 low, like a 1635 low. And then we go over to the South African rand right here. Right there. And you can see the last day or two, has been red, but now it's flirting with a green. It's trying to lift back up again. And let's take a look at her through the eyes of, let's see, right there. And that is the South African rand against the dollar. And you can see here it is trying to lift up, and they were trying to pressure her down. And at the same time, gold was, kind of going down too. It's a little choppy, sloppy. I guess that's the best way. I mean, you can see here from October 4th, and then we go back over to South African rand and look at the same date. There is, this the 13th? There's the 4th, right around here. So it makes a low and climbs, and gold does the reverse, of course. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. It tops out and goes down. And I know it's always confusing looking at the fundamentals, trying to understand the fundamentals, why we keep on finding metal complex losing value in a world that has inflation. I know. It's one of the mysteries of life, I guess, at this point. Let's see, what else do we got over here? Wait. Was it red, white, and blue? All right. So then, from there, we go to the Japanese yen. That thing has been just climbing and climbing and climbing, and they don't seem to want to let go of that either. Where's that at? Let's see, where's that at? Right there. There we are. Wow, they hit the 50 now? 49.77. Yeah, they've been aiming in that direction. They're doing a fine job of it, that's for sure. And we're looking at, like 35-year highs. These are pretty dramatic highs. This is like 1988 type stuff at this point. Not not much that can be said about that except for the fact that the math has picked up on it very well for a long while now. And then from there, let's put it up on J4X right there. You can see all that green, just green, 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 and it tries to stay above. I mean, it's starting to really bang. Look at it, it's in the 90s now. 96. Look at that. 96. I mean, it's getting ready to hit the ceiling. Hit the ceiling. Let's see. From there, I guess what we'll do is we'll slide to the south of the border here and take a look at the Mexican peso. You can see it's got a little lift going on there after all this entanglement on the bottom end of the range. You see the green line trying to pierce up. And let's get her up on Chicago. And right there. There we go. Trying to lift back up through the 0.23. Or is that 0.76? I guess it's 0.76. And you can see it's trying to stay up in there, and it just missed closing at a buy yesterday. Is that a minus? That's a minus. And today it's trying to pierce itself back up into there. And that sell that we had going on yesterday, boy, this thing is sensitively delicious, isn't it? And it's I mean, we were minus there yesterday with no problem, and then, this thing is so tight. What a good currency this has become, the Mexican peso. It's really locked itself in between the 19s and the 20s. It's a nice, tight, steady currency at this point. What else can we say about that? I guess between the Mexican peso and J4X, you can see that, and you can see it here. And this is going on the 6th week of a buy. 6 weeks now. Let's see what else. Let's see. I guess that's about it. That finishes us off on the currencies. So, do we have anybody saying anything? Nothing. Just a Metho with the Fed statement. Boy, that's the truth. All right. From there, we will drift over to. I guess we had gold up there, right? So we'll take a look at silver. And there's the gold, and we're playing with the lows. Boy, you would think that there's no inflation in oil. And then let's check out silver right there. There's the gold there on J4X. Lots of red. And let's get the silver up there. There you see a little blue or green there, right there, and then a red again. Now looking at silver on here, as much as it's down today, it's still not taking out these lows. And at the same time, we're in a weekly sell, which puts us totally into the neutral universe. And this whole big hump that we saw there, that whole move up, Robin and I have talked about that a lot because Robin, enjoys trading the coins and so forth. And one of the things that seems to be really clear, it seems like there must have been an unwind. That's what I think it was. The fact that the platinum wasn't able to get going first, and it followed and then fell instantly. And we saw this unwind between silver and gold at the same time. That seemed to be the actual recipe in the end. So, I mean, that sounds like liquidation. In other words, need to get some cash up, that type of thing. Let's see. So, let's go over to the copper. See what the copper is doing this morning. And we keep on waiting for that Congress to end in China. There's copper right there. Still parked down at the low end of its range. Let's put it up over here. There it is right there. And it's slowly drifting down like the gold and the silver. And they're not letting it go. It just seems to be I guess you could say it's the recipe of the situation. That's really where it comes down to at this point. And then, as I said, it's impressive when you look at the silver here. It's kind of trapped more. And they may be dismantling even more of the spread. The spread may be being dismantled. You never know how one of these brokerages or independent, I don't know, what do you want to call them anymore, since they're brokerages / banks type of thing. But you never know how they get trapped into something, and they just keep on thinking they got the wherewithal to hold on and double up and triple up, and then when they have to finally unwind, it has a nice effect across the whole marketplace itself. And you can see that down at the lows there with the gold. So all these metals, as much as we see... Oh, and I saw the mortgage rates come out this morning. They weren't pretty numbers. They came out about an hour and a half ago. And overall, it's down like 60 some odd percent of applications compared to last year. And down 0.4%, or I guess 4%. Maybe it's down 4% for the month. But down 64% year over year, which is pretty dramatic. That's 2/3. Talk about fundamentals not matching anything whatsoever at this point. And from there, let's jump over to platinum. It's a Wednesday. Why not? More than likely, with the action we're seeing everywhere else, we have to assume that platinum is still moving on the down track. You can see there, still in the sell. Just that one odd day to adjust for the unwind. But notice how firm this thing looks. We really do believe that it will lead us into the next good move in the metals complex. And we keep on thinking this particular time period, for the last 5 months, we thought this would be, the good time period for it. So, let's see. From there, we go to the metals complex. I'm sorry, the energy complex. There's the back month. I mean, this is the front month here of December oil, up almost $1 now. It's up 94 cents. But it's still red, still showing weakness. We saw that as we were looking at the Canadian. Then we jump over to, let's put, where's it at right here? Let's put Brent. There's Brent trading underneath 91 now. Yesterday, last couple of days, we saw it as high as 93, 94. Now we're seeing it underneath the 91 area. And let's see it. There we go. And then from there, we jump over to Nat Gas. Right there. You can see we are now playing with the 6 point. This is in December. Whereas when we put it up on J4X, we're looking at the November contract until it expires. Right there. It's trading at 5.5. So we're seeing this get pressured down. Now, we have seen that Spanish oil company, natural gas company, go from almost 30 down to 22, and now we're seeing it trade around 23 and a half. Matter of fact, I think we were just underneath 24 yesterday. Let's take a look at it here. Let's see, and that's the December contract. There we are. And let's take a look at the Spanish contract, or the Spanish oil and natural gas company. I think that's it right there. 23.69, 64 is our bid for. Yeah, we're bouncing around that bottom end of the range. We'd love to see this thing dip into the low 21s, 20s, especially with the winter coming on. And it's been a good indicator of what's going on. Let's see now. What's the next thing? I guess we'll go to. Let's go to the cryptos, and then, or we can look at the stock indices. Do some stock in. Let's see, methods and dollars and Fed last. Okay, let's. No one's asking any questions, so let's just go over to the stock indices. Let's look at the S&P 500 right there. You can see it's been green for a couple of days here now. Some buying going on, kind of stalling out. We're getting towards some topping action right there, and we slide over to right there. You see it's acting a little weak, more weak than usual, but we'll see. It's firm, and it is still flirting with the daily buy with no problem whatsoever. And the weekly is trying to pierce up right there. Okeechobee, Florida. They're interviewing a restaurateur on the Financial Channel. And then from there, let's see what we got. Let's take a look at the Tech 100. Right there. You can see there, it's a second day in a daily sell, which is kind of curious. No, I'm sorry, it didn't make it in there yesterday because it was red and green. But you can see here, it is flirting with it today. So we're really pressuring itself into the sell side of things. Interest rates going up does not help that particular sector when it comes to the sector of stocks. And there it is right there, the Tech 100. You see a couple of days of green, reaching the top end of its range, and it's trying to roll over in here. From there, we'll drift over to the Dow 30. So all that green there. There we are, and you can see here we're seeing that same situation where it's starting to press the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Now there was serious talk of what was it? It was serious talk about money managers. That's what it was. Money managers. I was trying to figure out what I was thinking about. It was the money managers have been recommending Dow Industrial stocks now for a couple months, saying it was a haven to run to. And without a doubt, once the market made a nice little turn in here, they really showed some real strength in there. And you can see this one is through the weekly with no problem. Look at that. I mean, it's trying to get into a move on the upside. And it is Wednesday. It'll be interesting to see how Wednesday, Thursday plays out. You know, they try to take it down Thursday, and it fails, and somehow or another finds a way to climb back up. And you know, there is a strong feeling out there that there's some buyers out there. They want to average in at this point, and there's even more managers that are talking about the idea that they wouldn't be surprised to see the S&Ps get into, say, the 4,000 area, 4,050 area, that type of thing. Get around 4,100. So and right now it's trading at 3,700. Now, let's see, from there, we're going to slide over to, yesterday we talked about this and we didn't do it. Let's see if we can find it on here. I think was it M2, the Russell? I've been wondering, we haven't seen the Russell. There's a couple of products that are giving me problems on this machine. Let's see if we can find it. See, there's the Nikkei. I think let's see, right there. Let's try this. Let's see if we can do this. And we might even just do this. Just go over and see if we can find the micro symbol for the let's see, CME. Because the Russell is traded off of ICE with the knife, and so we've lost seeing those products most of the time now. But they do have a micro that they trade at the CME group, and we follow it through that, and it's been very interesting. Micro. Let's see if we can find the symbol. I also did fix the which one was it? Symbol index symbols. There we are. We did fix the Bitcoin. Let me just show you that real quick, because we always like to look at the cryptos. Cryptos have been in a daily sell for 2 days, which is kind of interesting. You see that there, and not going anywhere, but it is in a sell. It's still in that long weekly sell. This is the 9th week. It's still doing that. Let's see what we can find. Let's see, markets, micro. I just want to find where they've put. Let's see, all products, micro suite. Let's see what that does. Micro. There we go. Micro S&P. There it is right there. M2K. There we go. And so there's the Bitcoin. It hasn't really fallen anywhere. It's just not going anywhere, which is fine. It's sometimes it's better that they just digest after the moves that they've had. But let's see. Let's put this in there. M2K. Add. Let's see how that looks as it spins away. There we go. Futures. M2K. Look up. And it's trying to load it now. And we'll take a look at the Russell. Russell's kind of like what's the best way to describe it? Russell is what the Tech 100 used to be. I think that's the best way to describe it. And it has a lot of what's a, let's see, and we want the March. There we are. And what it has is it has close. It has companies. There's 2,000 of them, and what they are is they are the type of companies that could be the next Intel or could be the next Microsoft, or they could be the next Enron. It can be almost any of those things. Let's see, where's the mouse out there? Let's do this. There we are. Put that in like that, format. There we are. Then you can see there, it went into a sell yesterday, or it's tried, but it's still in the buy, I guess. So we can move these out of the way. It's trying to go into the sell today. That's what it really comes down to. Went into the buy there. Move this sell over to here. This is from the other chart. So, and then there's the buy right there. And so they made a nice little lift out of this, and it's in the sell since there. And we're waiting for it to get into a buy. So the speculative, this is a very speculative index, and it shows you where money managers are in their head. In other words, do they want to bottom fish and take risk or not take risk, that type of thing. And when they start to reach for this particular indice, that means that speculation is coming into the marketplace. And that's what the Tech 100 used to be. It was a product like that, where when you saw it outperform the general indices, you knew that that meant money, speculative money, was pouring into the market, and vice versa. When it stopped, it stopped. And it usually was a sign that there was weakness coming around the corner. Let's save that file and save workspace. There we are. So that's the stock indices. And this is, it's performing fairly well. I can't complain about it. It looks like it's bottomed itself in that 1650 area, and it seems to be trying to hold up. Would love to see this thing get into the 19s. That could be a real sign that speculation is coming in. And chances are we'll follow this now, and more than likely when we start to see strength still staying in the big stock indices, the Dow and the S&P 500, then more than likely this thing will get some strength in it, and it will keep on climbing also at the same time. All right, now from there, we had Bitcoin up on there, didn't we? I think we did. We put Bitcoin on it. There we go. You can see it's got a little red going on. It's trying to roll over, but it's not really going anywhere compared to that day where they really popped the whole market, where they had sold it down and then found a way to close it up for the day. All right, from there, we can take a look at, anybody want to see anything particular? If not, we can go play around with looking at, let's see, close this. Duke Day. Close that. And then, let's take a look at open the intraday. Let's see how the intraday is looking. Let's see. I'll just show you how the intraday is functioning today. This is the S&P 500. We have it in 3 different pictures. So we do like 138. We do, that's a third of a Tesla. Then we do it in a full Tesla, which is a 396. And then we do it in a 2/3 Tesla. Actually, we do it in a 0.78 Tesla at the end there. And you can see here What is it? The S&Ps are down about 20 points. Is that 23 points? So let's just look at a full Tesla right there. You can see pretty much since broadcast started. What is that? That's 9:09. So about an hour ago, we started doing the webinar about 40 minutes ago, 45 minutes ago, and that would be right here. So we were at the lows, and you can see it's, every time when we widen this out, you can see the strength in it and the action. And then when we go and look at it like in a 2 Tesla or something like that, or 0.78 one right there, it makes it even more consistent. And we always talk about that, the idea of using the same tools for intraday, daily, and weekly and monthly. You can see I went into a sell right there, and you can see the pressure on the product at the moment. Let's see, what else can we look at here? Take a look at a couple stock indices and so forth if you're interested. Trying to think. We've seen all the currencies, and none of the currencies are surprising us, except for probably the Swiss, out of all of them, and also the lack of liquidity in the Turkish Lira. Those two are really surprising us there. When it comes to the commodities, that's not a bad idea. Let's open up some of the commodities. Dukascopy follows soybeans, and I think they have rice too, and we have rice. Let's see if we can get that going. So we're going to close this. There we are. And let's put them up on there. Let's put the beans up on J4X. I know I've seen it. There are soybeans right there. And here they are right there. You see they're putting some pressure onto it today. You see for the last 3 days, you've had some red going on in there. We've come down from the $15 area. It's kind of nice. Maybe the world is not as starving. I don't know. Let's hope so. Let's hope it's not as starving. And from there, we can drift over to, let's take a look at bonds. The 30-year right there. There's the 30-year bond. Right there. And that's being pressured down the last 4 days with no problem. It's in a weekly now for a bunch of weeks. You see, it goes all the way back to, let's tighten this up. We've been in a weekly sell since August, late August, from the 140-ish area. And now we're trading at 122. When bond prices go from 140 to 122, that means that interest rates are rising and they're losing the value. That's how they adjust it out. Alrighty, it looks like we're done. This is Doc. What do we have to say? What did we talk about today? We had something we said, didn't we? In the sense of, I guess, let's see. Oh, here's something with Janos. I think what we're really seeing is that the Swiss situation hasn't stopped. And so I guess, yesterday I think we mentioned it was like Fed QE or QT. In other words, There is no conversation. If I don't have that conversation around here, nobody seems to want to have them. I mean, in general. I mean, you don't see it I mean, you hear it. I hear it on the financial channel that I trust. Don't talk about it once in a while. But after that, everybody acts like as if it's irrelevant. It means like nothing. So, what should we call today's title of the market? I guess, just because of the way they're resting a little bit. Stocks, let's see, stock in S&P resting. S&P 500 taking a pause. PAU pause. There we go. There we are. That's our title for the day. All right, traders, we're out of here. We will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday already. So we will catch you on the flip side. So this is Doc from North America. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, later, traders. Safe, be smart. Be smart.